So I've centered up another small ball of clay. And what I'm going to try to do is show you some of the mistakes that are made by beginning students. One of the first mistakes is when you're doing your centering. You're pushing in and you've got like a really weird lump of clay that's totally off-centered. And you can see across the bottom that it's flaring out and spreading across the bat on one side more than it is on the other. And you're doing your centering, and that clay just keeps smearing out across the bottom. That becomes a very big distraction. Your hand is bumping up and down on that clay and getting stuck to it. So you want to get rid of that clay. One way is you can take with your sponge, just dig in and push it right back into the mass of clay. If your whole thing is really off-centered, that can actually cause a lot more problems than you're curing by pushing it back in. So you want to take your wooden knife tool and just cut it away. So you come down from the top first, cut down to the wheel head, and then just cut under it and remove it. It's kind of like removing that extra weight off the side of your cylinder form before you cut it from the wheel. Now I've got rid of all of that clay on the bottom that was causing a lot of the issues in getting it centered. Now I'm going to continue centering this, pushing in with my left, down with my right. Now I'm going to open it, and I'm going to bring my walls up. Now I'm going to start doing my pulls. As I had mentioned before, one of the problems that beginning students have is they're putting all this pressure at the bottom and they don't take the pressure off as they get to the top. So what ends up happening is you're pushing in, and you push so hard that you push completely through and you tear the pot right in half. Now you've still got clay down here on the wheel that you can continue working with, but the rim is all torn. So you need to be able to cut the rim and flatten it back out. What you're going to do is you're going to take your needle tool, and you're not just going to come in here and try to carve it away or just poke in with the point from the side. You're going to put a finger on the inside, and you're going to come in at an angle with that needle point. And you come in well below that torn rim, and you're just going to push inward towards your finger. It'll cut it right off, and you're ready to go with your clay and continue pulling your walls up. Now, in this demonstration, because I did tear through half of the amount of clay, I have a much smaller vase form or cylinder form that I'm able to actually get completed. But I always encourage students to continue working with the clay that is left on the wheel. You're always going to end up working with different sizes and amounts of clay. So if you tear part of it off, but you still have a good base of clay stuck to the wheel, continue working with it. Don't just cut it off. Don't get frustrated. Just work through the problems and know what not to do next time. I'm going to cut this one off, and I'm going to cut it in half like I did that first cylinder. Again, so you can see what it is you're after in doing your centering and your first pulls in creating these cylinder forms. I'm going to cut it off. I'm going to cut it in half. And again, a flat bottom with even wall thickness coming up the side. So about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 here, and a 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch on the side.